Welcome to After the Deluge. I'm Justin Cox. This series has been all about Bright Eyes Records, starting with the first one all the way through the last one and culminating in a very beautiful conversation with Conor Oberst himself, which you should check out if you haven't. You can't tell Bright Eyes' whole story by just focusing on those albums. There are a ton of songs that don't appear on records, a ton of very good songs that don't appear on those records. And today we're going to talk about 3 of them. And our guest to guide us through these 3 songs is Justin Corwin of the YouTube show The Deep Dive. Justin's great. You're going to see that right now. Sweet. All right. So now we're going to the obscure one you mentioned earlier, In Sound Tour Support number 12, which sounds like about the most fake thing in the world.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
And the song on that we're talking about is Joy in Forgetting, Joy in Acceptance.
What do you think of that song?
I heard it.
Know.
I heard it for the first time today. I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. Very cool. I'm super glad you picked this. And it's like a journey.
So unlistenable in the beginning.
It opens up to the opposite of unlistenable at the end, like in a way that is, I mean, it is titled in a way that feels like 2 separate songs. I mean, I guess what he's doing is what you see represented in the title, he's doing sonically.
There's a cat in the window of the house of my lover. Well, she sleeps there alone now, or perhaps with another. Oh, I try not to think about that. I try not to think at all. I get cocaine from my girl I met, and my brother buys me alcohol, and I stay up all night walking through these houses I have grown to hate, and my parents ask if I'm alright. I say I've just been staying up too late. I need to sleep.
He really was at that point where he was going to end himself. And I know that he talks about that a lot with other songs, but I think here he sonically grasps that despair, the ugliness of it. And then when it drifts into the prettier side, the piano ballad, and him telling his mother how he feels and how he wants to end himself.
So you say there are spaces open and wide. Believe me, there's days longer than nights, and you will be happy the minute you try, but you don't try. No, you don't try. And you speak of a fever that burns you inside, as you explain to your mother how you wanted to die. So she kisses your fingers, says, my darling, but why? When there's so much more, there's so much more. Do you know there are spaces open and wide? Oh, believe me, there's days longer than nights, and you will be happy if only you try. Oh, won't you try? Oh, won't you try?
I don't know if I've ever heard a song that perfectly captures that rock bottom. And the fact that someone who has lived on wrote that song and put it out there makes it even that more powerful, because he's showing folks that you can get past it. I don't know how deep you want me to get with like my personal side about this, but suicide is something that's haunted my family my whole life. I've had four suicides in my personal family, and any band that talks about that thing, I've always been drawn to. I don't know of any other song that captures what that could feel like in that final day better than this song. And the fact that Conor is still here today makes it that's so amazing.
It's you can experience expression of that type of dire moment without the that's the moment without the personal experience you have or the Elliott Smith of it all. Something you talk about the lines about his mom. There's a recurring thing, and everything from the way he writes about sadness and aspiring toward joy and disappointment and everything, and you hear about you hear mention of his family, or this almost apologetic, or there's these references to his brothers and his mom and his dad that are kind of really affecting, really feels authentically confessional, like, I'm sorry, I don't feel it's not good how I feel right now, and I am sorry I'm feeling that way because of how that then makes you feel. All right, let's bounce to what we got next, which is Oh Holy Fools, Sun Ambulance, Split EP, and the song here is No Lies, Just Love. This really, like, you watch this thing bend right out of this rough period. Rough is like, he's trivializing the word actually, but like into something more either happy or aspirationally happy.
It was in the March of the winter I turned 17 and I bought those pills I thought I would need, and I wrote a letter to my family. It said it's not your fault, you've been good to me. It's just lately I've been feeling like I don't belong, like the ground's not mine to walk upon.
This is a very, very, very confessional song, you know? This is this is a diary entry.
It's a sequel. It's a sequel to that previous song we talked about. And he spends the first half recapping that period of his life.
So please forgive what I have done. No, you can't stay mad at the setting sun, cause we all get tired. I mean, eventually there is nothing left to do but sleep.
He's telling his brother that he's gonna end it, which his brother's name's Justin. So I don't know if that makes an impact on you. It made a big impact on me. Hearing my name in the song, it hit really hard.
If you all haven't connected these dots, this is a couple of Justins talking.
Yeah, I've been there, and I've had these conversations with people over the years, trying to get them to not end themselves. I've been in that spot.
Salvation, it came quite suddenly when Justin spoke very plainly. He said, now of course it's your decision, but just so you know, if you decide to leave, soon I will follow.
He decides to live, not for his own kids, because he's still not convinced yet that he'll have his own kids, but for the unborn child of his brother, because he knows that child is going to have a rough time. And Conor wants to be able to provide light to the life of that kid.
I wrote this for a baby who has yet to be born. My brother's first child. I hope that womb's not too warm, 'cause it's cold out here, and it will be quite a shock to breathe this air, to discover loss. So I'd like to make some changes before you arrive, so when your new eyes meet mine, they won't see no lies. Just love, just love. I will be pure. No, I know I will be pure, like snow, like
guarantee that Conor has saved people's lives. I would bet this song is one of those that did it for a lot of people. Magic. Freaking magic.
It really is. And I mean, you're processing a serious thing in the direction of how your parents feel about the way you're feeling, how your brother feels about how you're feeling, how the unborn baby of your brother is going to feel about like, you could see this as like someone being very dramatic and making public their problems or whatever. That perspective of like thinking about the people around you and the baby that's not born yet, that's a processing that is very selfless.
Once in a blue moon, there's a blue sky. I wear my blue jeans and fly my blue kite. Hangs like a bluebird until the wind dies, and then the tears pour out of my blue eyes. If it's your birthday, we'll bake a blue cake.
Before we start moving on in the Bright Eyes thing in the series, in what way is True Blue the third part of the trilogy for that?
True Blue is the song that he wrote for that unborn child that he sang about in No Lies, Just Love.
And I wrote this song a long time ago. I actually wrote it for my nephew, who was turning 4 years old at the time and was obsessed with the color blue.
I love this side of Conor too. I mean, he talks about it, the last song on Fever and Mirrors.
A song to pass the time.
A song to pass the time. And he sings about kids that speak Spanish. And I love them. Why do I love them? This whole thing of just Conor just loving little kids, it kind of runs through.
I had a blue dream about a blue star. In it I drove there in my blue car. And when I got there, I met a blue dog with a blue tongue. We had some real fun. We bounced a blue ball, it broke a blue glass. We banged on blue drums and called it bluegrass. I guess the thing I'm trying to tell you is it's best, baby, to be true blue.
I love it. Love that.
Amazing. Well, thank you for bringing all of this to this show. It's a good addition. It's I feel I can, with a clear conscience, move on and go celebrate Lifted with the rest of Bright Eyes.
Please do. It's my favorite record by them. I have a great time.
Mine too.
Yeah, I don't know much about you, but I like you 'cause you're true blue. All right, watch the trumpet.